This total lunar eclipse is at 12 degrees Virgo, a full moon on the Virgo-Pisces axis that is receiving and in connection with beautiful energy from Jupiter. And Jupiter is at its most exalted, which means most beneficial energy, at 15 degrees in Cancer, and it's stationing direct, so it is exhilarating and amping up in power. We couldn't possibly have a more powerful Jupiter than we have at this moment. And to be in connection with a total lunar eclipse is a pretty impactful moment. I'm going to get into the detail of what this eclipse energy means to have Jupiter in Cancer and lighting up the full moon and the Virgo Pisces axis. That'll be for everyone. Then I'll get into the sign by sign. The timestamps will be below, and that's just so you have a better sense of where this is showing up in your life. Check your sun, moon, and rising and combine all three to get a better idea of what's going on for you. And if you just know your sun sign, that will fit too. Jupiter, our planet of luck, expansion, healing, gifts, knowledge, wisdom. It has been retrograde since November 11th, 2025. This retrograde in the sign of Cancer is likely hitting topics for most people around safety, security, nurturing. What do you need to feel safe at a heart level? Taurus is what we need to feel safe and secure in a material way, and Cancer is in the heart way, in emotions. What feels like home and family. When we are talking about the Virgo-Pisces axis, we want to find balance with those two archetypal topics. Virgo as a way of finding safety, security, and nurturing might say, I want to understand everything. I want to fix everything. I want to organize, compartmentalize, put things in order, work, get things done. If I just do everything perfectly throughout the day and I get everything done that I need to, and I follow perfect hygiene and health routines, everything's going to be fine. Pisces would rather go with the flow. It knows that in reality, we actually don't have that much control over what happens. We can try to do everything perfectly. We can organize things in rainbow labeled boxes. But it doesn't mean that things are going to turn out in perfect order. That's just not how life works. So Pisces would rather either completely turn a blind eye and dissociate for pleasure and fun or exhaustion. That can be the repercussion of being too much in our Virgo energy, is that we just totally collapse and can't get anything done. And we need to go into the dreamland of Pisces energy, which is actual dreamland. It's sleeping. It's the energetic state of all things and all beings that connects us all. The nodal axis has the north node in Pisces and the south node in Virgo, which means we are going to be letting go of more of the Virgo qualities that are not helping us right now. It's going to be unique for each person, and somehow leaning more into a Pisces trust and unconditional love. We're going to be looking at what the more improved qualities of Pisces can be. So it is about getting centered in an energetic space of control, not the outward manifestation and material control that Virgo can try to do. Pisces knows that what we really have control over is the energy at the core of our beings that we initiate work with. At the time of this eclipse, we have a stacked Pisces house. We have Mars, Mercury retrograde, Venus, which is also at a wonderful exalted degree. So Venus is at its most beneficial of all of the degrees possible in the zodiac. This is really good to have Venus at its most exalted degree in Pisces and Jupiter in its most exalted degree in Cancer, both of the beneficial planets in all of the zodiac planets. Incredible. So this is something we really can look forward to, especially after a more stressful, tumultuous Uranus square solar eclipse that we just had in Aquarius. If you haven't seen my video on that one, I will link it below. But this looks like pleasure coming forward. We are letting go of the right things. I think for a lot of people, the Virgo qualities came on strong when life felt really unsettled and unpredictable over the last couple of months. And I think that that's been part of Jupiter's retrograde plan. Jupiter being in a water sign is in positive flow with Pisces and Virgo, the earth and water signs, all of the earth and water signs. But this has been going on in more subtle ways with the nodes without an eclipse since Jupiter went retrograde. Anything that's been coming up has been brewing these questions of what makes us feel secure on the inside at a heart level, and what can we let go of that is external false control and just maybe driving us a little bit crazy with too much doing that can happen in Virgo. And where can we harmonize and find an energy that is at peace and accepting inside of us, no matter what is going on around us? It's not easy. It hasn't been easy for me, but it is going through the intensity that is giving the perfect platform to exercise that muscle deeper every time and get that much better at managing my past reactivity to things and my past fears and moving forward with more of that Pisces trust. Depending on when you're seeing this video, February 20th, we had the big Saturn-Neptune conjunction. I made a bunch of videos that are separately talking about each of those in Aries, but I see this really just broken down to its core is more of a merging moment of the cosmos and the earthly energy that we have at our disposal. We can use Saturn's physical, practical efforts and actually create and get things done in the material world, as well as Neptune's divine consciousness and intuition and connection to energy and all things. The last time we had Saturn and Neptune conjoin in Aries was over 9,000 years ago, and not at 0 degrees. This is a phenomenal new beginning, but really about the power we have to merge heaven and earth, to create from a place of understanding the energy beyond the material forces and giving that a boost. Time will tell. Things are going to unfold there, but this has been a big moment before this eclipse that we're talking about now. On top of that, Mercury retrograde in Pisces is going to be bringing up more things from the past, just to rework, revise, where really were we at with all of that Saturn, Neptune, and Pisces stuff, and is there learning from that adventure and the last finish up in the end of 2025 and beginning of 2026 that we now need to put into communication, thoughts, reworking our mind, because that's what Mercury represents. So whatever you've been going through in your Pisces part of your chart, I will link some Pisces videos on that as well. You can now expect a bit of reworking and applying that in the real world with Mercury. So take your time until Mercury goes direct again. Mercury will be retrograde from February 26th until March 20th. It'll start to go direct. It won't be until April 9th that Mercury is back to full speed. So between March 20th and April 9th, that is when the momentum will start to build again. But this is still an important part of focusing on what it is we want to rework about the way we communicate and the way we use our mind and the way we use our Pisces energy to channel the right intention through our words and mind. Jupiter will be direct on March 10th or 11th, depending on where you are in the world. And March 18th, we will have a new moon in Pisces just before Mercury stations direct. So those are the important dates. I will go over some of these again in the next video. Eclipse season is inching us along on the path we need to go and the way we need to do it when it's on a Pisces and Virgo axis. But with Mercury retrograde here, we do want to be patient. April is a big go forward month. It is my favorite month for taking action of the whole year. So if there's anything you want to launch, look at some dates in April. You can also reach out to me and I can look at your chart and look at specific dates that are opportunistic based on each individual chart and plan and what you have going on. I like to do that for business charts as well. So if you have a date that you launched your website or launched a business, it's nice to use that chart for business planning. Overall, keep an eye on what's making us feel anxious, what type of energy we're leading with, where we find nurturing and security within ourselves, how we offer that up in our service to other people. That's Virgo. How do we take enough time to rest and retreat so that we don't force ourselves into burnout or dissociation because we've just taken on too much? These are the topics that are most important right now. And now let's get into each sign to have a clearer sense of where this could show up in your life. Hi, Aries. This total lunar eclipse in Virgo is your 6th house. This is the house of Virgo, of work, of organization, health maintenance. If you have been wanting to make a healthy work routine, health routine, this is the time that it's just going to come naturally and easily. You're going to feel nurtured, self-nurturing probably in the process because Jupiter is in your 4th house of Cancer. This moment of Jupiter stationing direct in your 4th house is a wonderful time to expand your family, maybe change homes. But ultimately, you are going to be healing family dynamics, either with the family that you came from, the people you live with, the family you want to create. And families can take on any form in life. It's not the stereotypical family always. Family is the people that we surround ourselves with that make us feel at home, that help us feel safe, that help us feel like we can be around someone else and let our guard down. That's Cancer. It can be quite guarded when feeling unsafe. Whatever you've been going through since November 11th when Jupiter was retrograde, you are probably really seeing a path and really just look back and what has been going on since November 11th. Has it been rattling your sense of security? Has it been making you go inward to find a sense of peace and knowing that you're going to be okay and you're going to have loved ones around you no matter what? No matter who falls away, no matter what new people come around. It's this sense of security in your heart and in your inner being, and maybe even in the home and family that you have, that is part of the healing access taking place for 6th and 12th house activities for you. So letting go of overworking, maybe any routines that are not helping your health. This is a great time for New Year's resolutions and adding new routines. I like to say that you don't quit something, you add something new that you love, and then you let go of the other thing that wasn't so helpful. That's what's happening with the South Node in Virgo. With the North Node in Pisces, adding something that you love could be an energy meditation that's making you feel really good. It could be creation and art. It could be more romance. It could be more rest and retreat. You might be creating space in your home to have a spot that you can just really let go and go into dreamland and think about the way that you want your body to feel, and then it'll start to feel that way. And think about what it is that you want to create in life, and then it'll start to fall into place. So you're making more room in this Pisces 12th house part of your life to dream, to rework your energy, to create a sense of safety and home and family that you want in your life, and to let go of over perfection, overachieving, worrying about your health, maybe even. I can't help but mention this for Aries. Of course, you have Saturn and Neptune in your sign now. And this conjunction on February 20th at 0 degree Aries could have happened in your 12th house, in your 1st house. This moment where Saturn and Neptune come together, you may not feel anything in the moment. It's often a turning point or a moment of change that creates a cascade of things that we notice later. You might have even felt leading up to it. But Saturn-Neptune conjunction here, it could dissolve a career. It could dissolve a way that you have been out in the world. It could, because it's in your 1st house, if you're Aries rising, it could affect your body. If you're an Aries moon, it could have the same effect, especially if it's close by. So when I give examples, they're always loose because it's not going to affect everyone. I prefer to focus on the energy and the essence of what's coming to play. But a few examples here and there, I hope jog your own mental process so that you can apply some of this energy to how it might turn up in your life. So with this Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries, you could have something happen with your body that encourages more rest, more focus on health, changes up your routines, and it could be subtle. It could just be that all of a sudden you're aware that you're tired of being tired and you've had enough and you're going to start doing something about it. You have all of the support to go into dreamland with Pisces loaded with action. You have Mars there, Mercury retrograde, which is a time for rest anyway. It's a time to go back over things. For you, extra emphasis on this. It's before your birthday time. April is an insanely packed and momentum forward month. So I would suggest that if you feel called to rest, Aries, many of you take that permission slip. The sun is here only a few degrees away from the North Node, and then Mercury and Venus. Venus here means that you are getting pleasure from this time out. It could be romantic time out. You could be behind closed doors with someone else enjoying more private moments and private conversations and going back over conversations. If you are in film or photography, this could be more related to the work that you do, but each person's chart will be different. But I see this being extremely positive for everyone, an exceptionally wonderful one for you, Aries, to have Jupiter in your 4th house going direct. The other benefic, Venus in your 12th house, both at the most beneficial degrees possible. So this is where creativity is on high. This is the time where you could be feeling extra romantic and more unconditional love towards your partner. And there's an intuitive sense here. The 12th house can sometimes represent loss, but it's intuition, it's energy, and it's not going to be loss or dissolving for all people. But there's a call here for focusing on resources in some ways too, and that if it is resources that's coming up for some of you, then it is about listening to your body and your intuition, following more practical steps in your day-to-day life because of this Virgo eclipse. But really for you, it's all about Pisces and the 12th house. So it's more about leaning into this sense of where energy is going that you already have and using it to attract what you want in life, in any area of life, Aries. This is what it's all about when we have water and earth signs lit up like this in an eclipse. It's about yin energy and attracting, and that's going to be a bit of a attention grab for people that are fire and air signs that are used to being in the yang energy and going after what you want. This is about magnetizing what you want. So keep that in mind too, no matter what's happening around you. But this looks beautiful. I would love to hear from you, Aries. It's so much fun chatting with you in the comments and hearing about the real stuff that's actually showing up in life. So thank you so much for that, for being here for this video, for subscribing, for meeting me on Zoom calls. Wonderful to meet faces there. My booking link will be in the description below. Have a wonderful eclipse, and I will see you next time. Hi, Taurus. This is a 5th house full moon for you. This is a wonderful place to have a full moon. This is about fun, hobbies, creative self-expression, authenticity. You can check out my recent video on how to find more authenticity in your birth chart. I will link that below. But when you have a full moon here, it means that you could be letting go of something. This house also rules children, what you do for play, romance, dating. This is casual fun in life. This is also a house where we don't have to wear any masks. We are not necessarily in a role when we're in the 5th house. When we're in the 10th house, we're in career. When we're in the 3rd house, we're focusing on our communication. When we're in the 7th house, we're talking about partnerships. And these all require us to step into a certain role. But the 5th house is just where you get to play without any agenda. So what is it about the way that you've been going about things that maybe has too much agenda, too much strive for perfection, too much need to organize and control and fix things with your hobbies and fun? Virgo in this 5th house part of your chart can mean that there is a hypervigilance around fun in some way, around your hobbies, around dating. And this is an opportunity to let go. And what you're leaning into is the other side of the chart, which is Pisces, where you have your 11th house. And this is about your teammates. This is about the people on the journey with you that have a similar goal in mind, that want to get where you want to go. And it's not necessarily about you doing all the work to fix and make things perfect. That's the Virgo side. When you have Pisces in the 11th house, and you've been going through this in a bigger scope with the slower moving planets, but this is a finale moment where you're putting everything that you've learned over the last 14 years with Neptune here, over the last 3 years with Saturn here. And now you're really getting it. So you're going in the geese formation. You're not flying alone. You're not fixing it alone. You're not problem solving alone. You have people to support you, and you're welcoming this. And when we're flying in a V formation, it's perfectly imperfect. It's not a perfect V when I look up there. Yet they know exactly the pattern they need to be in to catch the right, most efficient flow. When you have Mercury retrograde here and Venus and Mars, there's passion, there's motivation, there's pleasure, there's joy, there might be some financial conversations to go over again, but Venus is at its most beneficial point in Pisces, which is such a treat. So I think you're going to be finding communities and networks that have the same goal as you, that you really get along with, you're passionate, you're having fun. This can be quite wonderful. Mercury retrograde means that there's conversations or mental reworking to go back over. You might have to go over contracts and agreements with community and people that you maybe do hobbies with. It doesn't have to be, though. These can be any community members that you are a part of. If you have an audience, they could be your audience. They could be your friends. Mercury is also the ruler of your 5th house and your 2nd house. So when it comes to hobbies, fun, play, romance, dating, what you find enjoyable and truly play without an agenda, that could again be another layer of element where you have to rework what is really playful and fun to you and have it merge with more than one person. Many people likely. And there could be a financial element where you want to make sure that you are spending the right resources in the right places with the right communities. If you have community membership passes, some places that you're not going to anymore, this is the time where you can cancel those memberships and save yourself a little bit of money. Jupiter is in your 3rd house of communication. This is short distance travel, cousins, close relatives, siblings, neighbors. What a wonderful place to have Jupiter going direct. This is blessings and healing in this part of your life, whichever part of your life it's activating. For many, it will be more about the mind and communication and what have you learned about the way that you want to communicate and connect with others. Jupiter is also at its most beneficial degree in Cancer, stationing direct, which gives it even more momentum. So between Venus in Pisces at its most beneficial degree and Jupiter also, and they are both the most beneficial planets in the zodiac, this is bringing such a delightful energy to your thoughts, your mind, your writing. This is amazing for people that are writing, publishing, teaching, in social media, getting media out into the world of any kind. This is a huge boost. And it's going to happen for you. That's what eclipses are all about. This is fated. This is predestined. This is part of whatever you've been working towards. It is either cutting something out or giving you a boost in the right direction, and very likely both. It's just that sometimes we need to let go of some heavy baggage to really get on the plane to the destination we're on our way to. It's through communication. It's through these Jupiter mindset gifts that you have, and you're feeling more emotionally secure in your heart and in your mind. And it's coming through in the way that you express yourself. And it's going to be a bang and a hit as it reaches this community 11th house part of your chart. What a wonderful combination to have, Taurus. Even though Mercury's retrograde, if you have been working on material, it might not be launch time. It might be that you already launched and now you're getting a reworking of who's looking at your stuff and what you want to put out there. But wonderful energy to go out and have fun. play with other people, have an audience. This could be successful for career or social life, however it plays out for you. I would love to hear how this is going with Taurus. And what a wonderful eclipse energy to have after some of the more tense energy we've been working with leading up to this point. So I think it's a well-deserved treat for everyone. I would love to hear how this is showing up for you. Thanks for lighting up these videos with comments and shout outs. It really means so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for reaching out for Zoom calls. My booking link will be in the description below. Have a wonderful Virgo total eclipse, Taurus, and I will see you next time. Hi, Gemini. This is a 4th house total lunar eclipse for you in Virgo. You are one of the signs that has this eclipse happening on the angles of your chart, which are the most potent angles to look at when it comes to how these transits affect us. This is the point at the very bottom of your chart that represents home, family, all those Cancerian topics that Jupiter is also emphasizing. So this makes this eclipse an even more potent family-oriented, Cancer-based energy for you. What is it that you want to change about home and family? What is it that might come in and change those things for you so that you can move closer to creating the security and the foundation at the bottom of your chart and in your life that you want to have? It could be career-related moves. You have the North Node and all of these planets in Pisces in your 10th house. So this could be about changing status in the world, getting a promotion, changing careers. There's so many possibilities when you have Mercury retrograde, Venus, Mars, and the Sun in the North Node, all in Pisces. For you, these planets were also just all in Aquarius, the sign before, in your 9th house of teaching and belief systems. And now there's something changing in your reputation out in the world, your career. This is a time where you could gain status and recognition and achievements for work that you've done in the past, and that could somehow be affecting your home and your inner world. But that's the piece with Mercury retrograde here. Mercury is also your ruler, so that gives extra emphasis to what's going on in your 10th house as far as people seeing you. Mercury is your ruler, is your body, is your mind. All eyes are on you. It's wonderful to have Venus in the 10th house. This gives you a boost of being seen in really beneficial light. This is a wonderful time to do presentations, especially if it's something from the past. Wonderful time to put yourself out in public if that's something that you are doing right now. But just be patient if there are delays, mix-ups. Mercury retrograde can cause confusion, especially in Pisces. It might be that the words that you're saying or that other people are saying, they're just not quite meeting. And that gives reason usually to talk about things further, uncover more. And that's the beneficial part of a Mercury retrograde, is that we need to take a little bit more time to get to understand all of the details. And then we can step into something that's even better than before. I like to think of Mercury retrogrades, any retrograde planet for that matter. It's a slingshot forward after we go back and rework a few things. We have that much more momentum and power and boost. Jupiter is in your 2nd house, and this is expanding your self-worth. This is really a wonderful energy for Geminis and career and power. Jupiter in the 2nd house could bring more money. So I just mean power in the sense of you are in a leadership role if it's 10th house activations. Jupiter in the 2nd house could bring wonderful bonuses financially. It can be a huge boost to your self-esteem, which adds that much more energy to put into your career and in anything in life that you want. With Jupiter having been retrograde in the 2nd house, you could have been reworking the way that you eat, the way you nourish your body, the way that you manage your money and your resources, and just shifting a few things around to improve and make things better. Jupiter often does that in a much easier, nice way. When Jupiter's in the 2nd house, we can also really indulge in Taurus and Venusian-like things. So delicious food and leisure and going to parks and flowers and all of the Taurus things, but sometimes it's not what we need for security. It's what we need for pleasure. And Jupiter can emphasize this so that we rework how we're eating, slowing down and eating food in a way that we can savor it and really enjoy every bite of high quality food and what our body needs. And now that Jupiter is about to move forward, you're really going to start to feel the benefits of the work that you've been putting into this self-worth and enjoying earthly pleasures and nourishing and taking care of your body part of your chart. And for some, it does look like some sort of career recognition or status change could bring more abundance. And that's a wonderful thing. It could be changing your home. You might have a big bonus and it's time to buy a home or upgrade your home or do some home renovations. It's interesting to have this all under eclipse energy though, because when we have fated activity that is designed to give us a boost in the direction that we want to go in, it's not about the material things that happen in life. It's not about moving homes and having a bigger home and more assets. It's about the energy that that represents. So if you have been working on safety and security and really healthy leadership, so that's the 4th house, 10th house axis, then this could be a moment of increasing because of the work that's been done, because of the shifts that you've made. So you now have a stronger sense of self-worth and of security in your inner world. And that is manifesting into the energy of more assets and a bigger home. Or you've put in a lot of hard work to make sure that you're working the system in the way that you're supposed to. And that leads to recognition and leadership and status changes in your workplace. Keep that in mind. Think about the energy that we put into things, the work done, and that any results or payoff, and it looks like Geminis are enjoying that right now. It is about the energy that you've already put into things. It is not just about the material thing that shows up. I would love to hear what kind of abundance you're feeling, Gemini. It is always different with different charts, and as positive as this reading sounds, it may not be happening yet for some people, or it may not happen when you watch this video, and something might happen a few days later. It might just not hit someone's chart in the same way as it does for these general readings. So it's always more specific and more aligned to get a one-on-one reading with an astrologer. But sometimes the abundance gifts and the shifts that we are going through are not loud. Sometimes they're more quiet, and we need to look at what gifts and grace and beneficial things we really have in our lives. Thank you so much for checking out this video and being here and chatting with me in the comments. It really means so much. It's really fun meeting you for Zoom calls. If you would like to meet me there, check out my booking link in the description below. But for now, have a wonderful total lunar eclipse, and I will see you next time. Hi, Cancer. This is the 3rd house total lunar eclipse for you. This is all about communication, expression. This is your mind, your mental habits. This is writing, media. This can be work that you get done if you are in writing or media. This is the house of marketplace, so this could be selling and buying as well. Though there are other houses that more accurately represent finances, like the 2nd house, but marketplace would be the actual selling, the way that you connect with people when you are wanting to move some material. There's something that you're letting go of at this full moon, and with Virgo being this part of your chart, it is likely that you're letting go of a layer of striving for perfection when it comes to your writing, your speaking, your mental habits. And this is wonderful energy for letting go of over scrutinizing and having a brain that's always trying to run and fix things and get things done, and that you can't settle unless anything is fixed and right. And that's not necessarily a Cancer archetype, so it's going to depend on each person's chart. But there's an element of that that's being highlighted with whatever's showing up in your life right now. On the other side of the moon in your 3rd house, you have this stack of planets and the North Node in your 9th house, which is about your perspective. And I've been talking about this a lot with Cancers because we just had 14 years of Neptune in Pisces, 3 years of Saturn in Pisces. We've had the eclipse axis for quite some time. I'll link some other videos below. This is a moment where you've had so much experience and focus in this part of your life that you now know what you want to put into action. And it's coming through your words and your mind. It's coming through reworking media and maybe how you use social media in your life. Mercury retrograde is also like the third house, representing mind and the way that you put words out into the world, the way that you think about things, the way that you integrate facts and make sense of something more purposeful. That's the ninth house. This could be a time where Mercury retrograde causes a bit more fog, and somehow it's through the fog that you start to realize something needs to go in the way that you communicate or the way that you integrate media and knowledge in your life. Because Jupiter is in beautiful aspect from your sign, you have such gifts at this moment. You are using Jupiter's energy as it gains momentum going direct. It's at 15 degrees, its exalted degree. Everything you've been going through since June of last year and November 11th when it turned retrograde, you're putting into action now. You have a healed sense of self. You have a healed way of taking initiative out in the world, going after what you want. Your body could be going through immense healing and transformation. Maybe you're writing about that. Maybe that's part of what Jupiter's connection in the first house of you is affecting, this axis of third house of writing and ideas and learning, and then wisdom in the ninth house, higher knowledge, bigger picture, putting things into some sort of purpose and mindset and belief system of the world. You could be teaching. You could be teaching what you've learned about Jupiter in your first house, about healing your body. Jupiter is the planet of the ninth house where you have all of these other planets, including Mars, Mercury, Venus, the Sun, and the North Node. So some of you could be publishing what you've been writing. You could be teaching what you've learned about healing, about these Jupiter topics, about family. There are so many opportunities, but you're really getting clear on who you are, how to make your mind work for you, how to gather knowledge in a way that has purpose that you can put to use. It's changing your belief systems. This is absolutely a wonderful energy for Cancers out there. You are another sign who's really amplified with Jupiter at this point and in connection with the lunar eclipse. This is very inspiring energy for Cancers. This having Mars in your ninth house, in a house that has Jupiterian optimistic type energy to it, and then in connection to this strong Jupiter, Jupiter is the ruler of your sixth house. So this is your daily activities, your routines, your habits, your work. So again, for many of you, this could be work related. For others, this is the optimism, the motivation, the drive, and the mindset to change your routines and habits in the way that you've been wanting to for quite some time. Maybe since November 11th, when Jupiter went retrograde and you started reworking the ways that it's been supporting you. Venus's contribution is the ruler of your fourth house, home and family, and the ruler of your 11th house of friends and community and networks. So there's a layer of that that's going on in your ninth house of mindset, publishing, teaching, higher learning, seeking truth. It could be through networks and communities and organizations that you're a part of, or time alone at home, or family connections. Family connections I find can be, or friends. They are the platform from which we start to rework our framework about thinking about things in the world. So experiences that you have at home and with friends and family and networks and community could be part of what's changing your mindset, changing how you feel and think about the world, what your beliefs are, what you are teaching, the material you're putting out there, if that's what some of you are doing. But also, just to reiterate, lots of passion with Mars and all of this Jupiter action for Cancers. So have fun with this. If you're a writer, wonderful time to write more and maybe even get work published or have it be seen out in the world and a larger audience in some way. But I would love to hear how this is showing up in your life. It could just be some of these energetic qualities and not connected to any of the examples that I've given so far. But overall, a lovely, healing, optimistic, and sometimes even romantic, but you'll find it beautiful and enjoyable no matter what. At least I hope so. You let me know, Cancer. It can be different for everyone. So much fun chatting with you in the comments and meeting you through video for one-on-one Zoom calls. My booking link is in the description below if you're interested in that. Have a wonderful total lunar eclipse, Cancer, and I will see you next time. Leo, this is a total lunar eclipse in your second house of resources. This is on the axis of shared resources with your 8th house and your own resources, the second house. When we're talking about the second house, this is also your self-worth, how you manage your assets, how you eat and nourish yourself, the types of foods that you eat, the energy that you eat with. Do you savor your food? Do you derive and enjoy pleasure from the things that you choose to spend your money on and your time? The 8th house is also psychological merging. This is your own psychological transformation. This is merging with a partner in deep, spiritual, profound ways. This can be a house of sexual intimacy, and in that case, it is very deeply profound and spiritual and psychological. It is through relationships that we do our best psychological transformation, because our psyche is reflected as we try to merge with another person's, and theirs is brought out as well. So it's through usually working with other people. This 8th house is specifically contracted partnerships, often marriage partnerships, that intimacy of merging at a deeper soul level. So you could go through deep psychological transformation. It is through this partnership that psyche it's like it's projected up onto a screen for you to see and understand more of what's going on with you and another person. And when you're bonding in that way, then the richness of the connection is that much better. This could be resources from a partner that are coming through to help you in unexpected ways, because Jupiter is sending beneficial rays to this eclipse from your 12th house of unseen realms. So there could be some hidden gifts coming your way, which is a wonderful surprise, especially after some of the more tense changes that we've had prior to this beautiful Virgo eclipse. The South Node is in your second house and the North Node is in your 8th house. So you are leaning more into what gains you can get from merging with another person: energetic, financial, intimacy, spiritual, your own transformation. And you're letting go of something Virgoan in the second house. So you might be letting go of hypervigilance and control over your assets and your spending. And you're leaning more into trusting what you can create with another person. You're leaning into unconditional love with the North Node in Pisces, and you're letting go of maybe some fears around what you do have of value to bring to the table. That can be Virgo in the second house too, that you're scrutinizing and being a bit too hard on what you have to offer. Virgo is a very modest sign. It is sometimes undervaluing itself as well. Jupiter in the 12th house can mean overseas travel, faraway places, more time in meditation and rest and retreat. Jupiter in the 12th house here is a very creative energy. In Cancer, I think that it could be more family and nurturing focused. So maybe you're going overseas to visit family. Maybe it's family overseas that has some sort of effect on your assets and material gains at this time. Mercury being the ruler of your second house and your 11th house, and retrograde in this 8th house area of psychological transformation and deep intimacy, that means that somehow communities, networks, the internet perhaps with the 11th house, these are bigger networks that we're a part of, so internet groups, and your second house, your self-worth, has a component that wants to be reworked as in the 8th house with merging and bonding with another, or a psychological transformation that you're making on your own, or money and resources that are coming into your life via other people. That's the 8th house, how other people's resources support you. So there are some layers here where Mercury retrograde wants you to focus on your communities, your networks, and the value that you bring to the table. Venus and Mars here at each end of Pisces bring passion and romance, but they could also bring more topics around money and assets with Venus. This is an eclipse where we're talking a lot about security because Jupiter is in Cancer, and Cancer wants emotional security, wants to feel nurtured and safe with the people that it's close to, wants to feel nurtured and safe at home. Home is where the heart is a Cancer saying. So what is it about the energy, because this is your 12th house where Jupiter is in Cancer? What is it about overseas places that could bring a sense of home? What is it about your own spiritual connection and your connection to energy and unseen realm and intuition that create a sense of nurturing that is then going to spread into your deeper intimate bonds, your resources, the way that you manage resources, the support you get from other people? With the 11th house activations through Mercury, there could be some delay in how communities and allies are showing up for you, but they will come into play. And when Mercury goes direct, it will slingshot forward at the end of March. You're going to gain a lot more momentum in these areas of life. But this seems like a moment where it's all starting or something old is ending with how you used to manage your assets and self-worth. And it's making room for a whole new way forward come the end of March and beginning of April. So this is an energy where you want to see how it all plays out. But Leo, this looks spectacular. It's a financially abundant, prosperous time for you. If there are any losses, which I don't necessarily see, Jupiter in the 12th house can do that, but we have these planets at beneficial points and beneficial angles. So it's going to be the best attributes. It gives me the impression that if something was to leave, it's making room for something that much better, that much bigger, that much more support, and that much more deep connection and intimacy with someone that really matters to you and people that really matter to you. But I would love to hear how this is going for you, Leo. It's so much fun chatting in the comments and knowing what's really going on out there. So thank you for that. Thank you for reaching out for the one-on-one Zoom calls. If you would like to see me for a reading, my booking link is in the description below. So fun to meet you there. Thank you for just hanging out for this video, for being here. Have a wonderful total lunar eclipse, and I will see you next time. Virgo, this is your total lunar eclipse, 12 degrees. So depending on if you are sun, moon, or rising, especially within 5 degrees of the 12 degree mark, before or after, or 10, but all Virgos are going to feel this. This is a change in you. This is a fated shift in your body, how you take initiative in the world, who you are by the way that you present yourself, your persona. What is it that's energetically changing and reworking about you right now? It's going to affect your partnerships. You have a stacked partnership house. You have a new moon in your partnership sector next. This is marriage partners, committed partners, long-term relationships, one-on-one relationships. If it's karmic relationships, these are people that we've lived past lives with, and they are here to walk alongside with us and learn with. I love Venus being here at its exalted degree in your partnership house, in trine with Jupiter in your 11th house of friendships and networks and communities. These are your looser acquaintances, but they are allies and they're here to support you. So this is a time where going out and doing group functions or even being online can really benefit your partnerships. You are one of the signs that has this, well, on your axis, so it's extra potent. With your ruler Mercury being retrograde in your 7th house, this indicates that relationships from the past are coming back into focus. There's a reworking to do in the final lessons maybe, but I think the lessons are done in the Pisces partnership part of your chart, and it's stepping into motion now. What was your takeaway from having Saturn here and learning how to see through the over-idealization, the rose-colored glasses, the fantasy that we want to create with other people, and then what actually is grounded in reality and what partnerships actually mean? The reward is here. You have the lot of fortune. You have the vertex point, which means that, of course, that eclipses, fated relationships could come into your life. A full moon can be an ending, but a full moon can also be a manifestation, a time of fruition. And with the sun in your partnership house, with all of these planets, I see a lot of motivation and drive and passion with someone else. This is not necessarily Virgo on its own, and it doesn't have to be a romantic or marriage partner. It can be a business partner. It can be an important friend or a committed person in your life by contract, physical or spiritual contract. Venus is the ruler of your second house and your ninth house. So there is some overlap with what aligns with your values. Venus is the ruler of your second house, is your self-worth, what matters to you, what you want to put your money and energy into. And the ninth house is that it's your belief systems. It's foreign places, foreign people, experiences to get to know the world and yourself better. It's throwing yourself into the unknown sometimes so that you get a new understanding of something that you haven't experienced before. It's your belief systems, your philosophy of the world. What is it about your values around ninth house topics? It could be teachers as well, that is showing up with partnerships right now. Do your partnerships align with your values? Do they align with your philosophy of life, your spiritual outlook on life? Maybe you have a new teacher coming into your life, and that can show up as a significant partnership of some kind. We don't always know who the most important teachers are in our lives sometimes until much into the relationship and experience, and we start to see how important that person really was. Another thing with Mercury retrograde here is that you could feel more tired during Mercury retrogrades. So give yourself some space and time if you need to rest more, especially in Pisces. Everyone might be feeling that, more meditation, more alignment with the energy that matters to you, and give yourself the space to get into that zone so that you are not, and that could be what you're releasing. That could be what you're releasing at the time of the Virgo eclipse, is that there's something about anxiety and overdoing and overfunctioning that everyone is going to be letting go of, but especially the Virgos out there. So if you have a tendency towards these things, it's about leaning into the energetic frequency that you want to create and integrating that in your body. So it's not about leaping into optimism and positivity and feeling good when you're not feeling good. It's about figuring out what's not feeling good in your body, where does the anxiety lie, and how can you bring it into a current timeline that feels like it's a helpful level of anxiety, organization, doing, working, service, whatever it is, and not an overwhelming amount that's going to be of burden to you. That's often what happens when we are bringing worries from the past into the present, is that it becomes overwhelming and burdensome when it's more than just the present moment. So that's the exercise for many right now, is bringing the current awareness into alignment with any past worries, fears, concerns, and trusting that element of Pisces, trusting another person. There could be lessons in leaning into another and knowing that they are going to show up for you this time. People can be different than what they have been in the past, or this new person or new people stepping into your life, they are not the people that were there with you 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it is. So you're reworking this self and other axis. It is getting beautiful gifts from Jupiter in your house of communities, networks, audience. You could see a big boost in people that want to work with you, merge with you. If you do online work, this could be an audience or any creative outlet or work that you do. This could just be having more people on your side, more people on your team, and more people helping you out. You are also aligning with people who are going in the same direction as you. You've been figuring that out since November 11th, likely, when Jupiter went retrograde. And as Jupiter starts to gain momentum, you're going to see the benefits of what you've been reorganizing in an internal way. Come the end of March, more of these planets are going to be direct. We'll have Jupiter direct. We'll have Mercury direct. And you're going to have a new moon in your partnership house. So there's a lot to look forward to. This might be the last bit of reworking of anything you need to let go of as it relates to yourself, your work, your habits, your hobbies, your health, your routine, because you're a Virgo, and what it means to lean into a different energetic frequency, a different way of getting things done every day, and how that's going to benefit your partnerships. This new moon in your partnership house is going to be really when things are going forward and there's more forward momentum. So I look forward to talking about that one in the next video. But for now, have a wonderful total lunar eclipse in your sign, Virgo. I would love to hear how Virgos are feeling. What are you shedding? What are you letting go of? What are you taking with you moving forward of the Virgoan energy, and how are partnerships and your community and allies playing a role in this? So much fun chatting with you in the comments and hearing the real experiences going on. Thank you for reaching out for Zoom calls. So much fun to meet you on video. My booking link is in the description below. I'll see you next time. Hi, Libra. This is a 12th house total eclipse for you in the sign of Virgo. The 12th house here could be very much about letting go of unhealthy habits, routines, workload, anything that has been more on the level of dissociation, over idealism. Something that was hidden could come to light in the 12th house. But the 12th house is about disconnecting from the world. It is the opposing sign from Virgo, and Virgo is about work and service and all of the practical things we do in a day-to-day way to participate in life and society with others. The 12th house is the opposite. If you have been retreating more, or you have found that you just haven't been able to get the productivity that you want in life, this is a moment where that could completely turn on its head. You have all of this energy in your 6th house, the North Node, Mars, Mercury, the Sun, and Venus, lighting up in such a beneficial way, better routines, better work, better organization of your time. This isn't working to the bone. This is finding really healthy balance so that you don't crash and burn out and need to dissociate. This is enjoying your work. This is reaching your work from an energetic, intuitive place. And because of that, it could be reaching more of the masses and connecting to many people, which could be Pisces as well. It's that all-encompassing energy. So you're tapping in to the divine space in your work. Jupiter in your 10th house is bringing more recognition, more attention to your leadership, your reputation out in the world, your public image, your career. This is public visibility and status, and sometimes achievements for work well done. When Jupiter is stationing direct like this on the 15th degree, where it is most exalted in the entire zodiac chart, blessings are coming to you with your public image. And like I said, it could be recognition, achievements, awards, something changing in your status. Venus is your ruler, and she is conjunct together, starting a new cycle with Mercury retrograde. On February 28th, Mercury and Venus will conjoin for their new cycle with Mercury retrograde at 22 degrees. At the time of this eclipse, they are starting to separate as Mercury does its retrograde. So there's something that you're revisiting, maybe with self, with relationships, with how you manage yourself in relationships, with how you manage your money, your assets. And Mercury going retrograde is helping you revise your belief systems and how much you rest. It's the 12th house stuff again. These are both overseas houses and signs. So you could have something to do with travel or overseas places, which is the 12th house. 9th house is travel and exploring and spiritual pilgrimage. The adventures that you've been having are getting reworked and likely to do with work for some reason, or routines or health. But there is a reworking that is happening with Mercury and your ruler right now, and you're going to see more of what's actually going on towards the end of March. This is a time to investigate your health routines, the work that you do, and then come the end of March, you can make more forward direction in whatever way you decide you want to go. You're gathering the facts while Mercury is retrograde, and it could be that something from the past, a contract from the past, comes back around work-wise. Work people come back into your life from the past, and then that changes the trajectory of where you are going as it pertains to work and service, or maybe your health for some of you. The Pisces 6th house, though, that I'm talking about because there's so many planets here, the sun is here, and it is in opposition to the moon in your 12th house. But the 6th house Pisces is about putting the energy first into all the work that you do. What is your energetic state before you start something, before you give to another person, before you implement a new health routine? It's the energy that we put into things that matters more sometimes than even the actions that we do. There have been things that I have looked back on in my life, and it was when I was rushing things, controlling things out of fear, and that can be more in that Virgo energy, rather than trusting, letting things be, going with the flow in the moment, and having my energy a little bit more relaxed and loose while doing the work needed at the same time. I could see a lot of Libras pondering these things, thinking about these things during this eclipse. And for you, you're one of the signs where something could come out of nowhere that you didn't expect, that is hidden and comes to light when we have a full moon in the 12th house. This is also an energy where karmic people from the past could come back around, especially as it relates to work and career. For you, this is a very work and career emphasized energy, as well as health. Any fatigue that you might be feeling with your ruler in the sign of Pisces and Mercury retrograde at this time, this could bring head fog and lack of clarity and not feeling the oomph that you might want. When these planets move into Aries, April for you, it is full on. You're going to have a lot of energy in your partnership house. Your ruler is going to be in a fire sign, which is going to give you more Mars-like qualities. Mars will be there too, eventually. A little bit slower than the rest right now. So just to hang on, your energy will come back in April. That is when all planets are direct and it is full momentum forward. So whatever's going on right now, take the time to contemplate, to enjoy, to reset your energy, to connect to your own intuition, to do internal psychological work too. A full moon in the 12th house can be your subconscious, and going into dream states or dream journaling and understanding the energy programs that you've been running and how you want to shift that and move forwards so that you have work that's more aligned with you, more enjoyable in the day-to-day way, less friction and anxiety when it comes to work, and more going with the flow, being in that Pisces vibe, which Libras probably have anyway. Having Virgo in the 12th house means that sometimes the organization and service and work ethic and all of those things that Virgo represents can be harder to grasp for some Libras, especially Libra risings, but it can affect all of them. And it's personal charts always. So if that's the case and you find yourself more on the opposite, where you have less motivation and you're not driven or anxious, and I say anxious just because sometimes it's anxiety that's exhilarating and exciting, and it's what gets things moving. You might be rebalancing that. So you are the sign of balance and harmony, all of the houses as you go along the zodiac wheel, because you are flipped with Aries and Libra, Aries typically being the first house and Libra being the 7th. And now if you put you in the first house and Aries in the 7th, it also flips all of the other axes, which speaks to how important it is for Libra to balance all of these archetypes. And yet you also come into the world with a natural balance in these archetypes. Pisces is the polarity of Virgo, and Virgo's the 6th house, and you have Pisces in the 6th house. So for those of you who are not as clear on some of the astrology jargon, I hope that helps visualize. But if it doesn't matter, just keep in mind that you are balancing archetypes always. So whenever any astrologer talks about the polarity points or the opposite signs and the tension that can be found there, know that that's especially important for you. You already have it, but you're always working towards more of that in a new way. It's always interesting when 12th house eclipses and moons and transits in general show up, Libra. It can really be a wild card. I would love to hear how this shows up for you. It's not an uncomfortable surprise. It can sometimes just be things that are hard to grasp, hard to understand in the moment. And I think you will see more of what's going on in April. It's so much fun hearing what's going on in the comments and adding real life to these videos. So thank you for chatting with me there. Thank you for reaching out for one-on-one Zoom calls. It's so much fun meeting you on video. If you would like to book a reading, my link will be in the description. Have a wonderful 12th house, total lunar eclipse, Libra. I'll see you next time. Hi, Scorpio. This total lunar eclipse is in your 11th house of friends, community, networks, organizations that are here to help you along your path. These are like-minded people. Who are the groups that you feel share an inspiration, share a direction in your life? This is an area that you have been contemplating for quite some time, as the nodal axis has been in this part of your life for over a year now. And the opposing side, the 5th house for you, is where you have this stack of planetary activity and the North Node in Pisces. And this is where you've just had Neptune roll through for 14 years, Saturn for 3 years. So the lessons have been heavy in this 5th house part of your chart as far as authentic creativity, who you really are at the core of your being, which is our creative expression. It's our children. It's when we're having fun without an agenda. It's play. There's something about the way that you're operating in the world and experiencing joy and connecting to who you really are that it's run its course. And now the changes that you have made are activating a brand new beginning, maybe some endings when it comes to the communities at large. This could be your audience. So if you are actually working on creative projects, this is a position where some of you could be filmmakers, photographers in media of some kind, because Pisces is the ruler of cameras and photography, capturing images. However this shows up, audience could be part of it. You're gaining a new audience. You're reaching a new level of people that want to go on this journey and path with you wherever this 11th house community activity is showing up. It could be overseas because Jupiter is in your 9th house, sending beautiful rays to this nodal axis and the full moon at this time. Jupiter in your 9th house is exalted in Cancer. It loves to be at the 15th degree, so it is at its most beneficial contributions. It's also stationing direct, which gives it this, it's like a car throttling the gas while the brake's still on, where it's like revving the engine. I don't know if that actually helps a car launch forward, but what I'm saying is that when we're stationing to move forward, there's a slingshot effect that can make Jupiter all that much more potent. And Jupiter is connected to the 9th house. It rules your perspectives on life, teaching, publishing. It's an adventure house. It is where you go abroad, you experience different cultures, things that are different to what you already know, in a way to expand your knowledge and perspectives of the world. It's spiritual pilgrimage. It's higher education of any kind. It is expanding your mind with a purpose. It is learning new skills. A teacher could come into your life that changes who you are, your belief systems, and your philosophy on the world. So with all of those topics enhancing this full moon total eclipse for you, you are looking potentially to be a teacher yourself. That could be what's changing your audience, but it's your beliefs and your philosophies of the world that is shifting the community and networks that you're a part of. It's enhancing your creativity. I love this energy. It looks like you're becoming stronger and more confident in your creative abilities. If this has to do with your children, you could be going on trips with children. Your children could be expanding your philosophies and your mind and your beliefs about the world. It could be a bravery with your creative efforts. It could be just feeling more brave to be seen, to be who you are, and that's attracting the right audience. And it's changing your philosophy on life. So this, especially for Scorpios, if you're the type of person who feels more comfortable behind the scenes, observing from afar, this could be a moment where you're noticing that you are the one that wants to be out in the public and be seen a little more. If it's not about being seen, it's about having the right ingredients to feel supported in your life, to change your mind, to change your perspectives. You could have a new teacher for art. You could be going to art school. You could be doing something that sparks your creative energy, or you could be the one doing that for other people. Mercury is retrograde in your 5th house alongside Venus, the Sun, the North Node, and Mars. So you're feeling motivated. It could be a past project that you're going back over, but Mars is bringing the energy to this 5th house creative part of your chart. Venus is tapping into the beauty and the possibility. Venus is also exalted at the 26th, 27th degree, and that's where she is at the time of this eclipse. So you have so much support from Venus and Jupiter in your 5th and 9th house that it looks like your creativity is on fire, your perspectives, your philosophies, they're pouring into your creativity right now, and it could be helping a lot of people. Venus is your 12th house ruler and your 7th house ruler. So there's a layer of behind the scenes, spiritual intuition, connecting to energy and source and divine wisdom, especially because the 9th house is activated. But partnerships, maybe there are some things going on behind the scenes that are really positive because of Venus's presence at the most exalted degree. So I just wanted to add that extra piece that relationship and partnership energy is a big part of what you're creating, what feels beautiful, what feels romantic, what feels fun. The 5th house is also dating and play and romance. So you could meet someone within a group that lights up that part of your life as well. With Mercury retrograde, the piece about working on projects from the past, if this is the 5th house also has to do with children. So there could be something with your children coming up from the past. But this is not a time to have a ton of forward momentum. This is a time to revise and revisit Piscean-like topics in your 5th house. So especially for you with the 12th house activation, that's Pisces, how are you intuitively channeling energy into your life, into the things you do, into the things you do for fun? I just released a video on authenticity and it's focused on the 5th house expression. So check that out if you feel called to. Give you a bit more layers of what all of these 5th house activations are, and actually be great to contribute in the comments because you are the expert. You have been the signs, Scorpio, to have all of this 5th house activation for so many years. So overall, we're talking about your creativity. It is where the sun is in this full moon lunar eclipse. The more you align with who you really are, what feels authentic to you, what feels fun, what feels playful, what feels romantic with Venus here, the more your community's audience and groups are going to change to match where you're at, to support you. So don't worry if groups fall away at this time or changes happen at the time of eclipses. It's always destined. It means that there's something more on its way. And next we will have a new moon in your 5th house of Pisces. So that will be a whole other video to talk about that. But if you're experiencing endings right now with communities, there will be an opening for the right ones to come in. Scorpio, would love to hear what you've been working on creatively, or if this is children. It's it's been interesting to see all these fifth house hits for you. So thank you so much for chatting with me in the comments and reaching out for Zoom calls. It's wonderful to meet you via video, but thanks for just hanging out for this video. Have a wonderful eclipse, and I'll see you next time. Sagittarius, this is a 10th house lunar eclipse for you. Something could be ending when it comes to career, visibility, your public image. This also could be a time of fruition. I expect many of you could be gaining awards and recognition for the work that you're doing, or a career that you've been waiting for is finally here. Jupiter sending positive sextile and trine to this axis of 10th and 4th house for you is a wonderful ingredient to have. Jupiter is amped up at its most beneficial degree and about to go direct, as well as Venus in your 4th house, which is at its most beneficial degree, but not in a station direct. But regardless, both of the benefic planets are working hard to make this eclipse a really positive experience for you. So you have the moon in your 10th house with the south node. And then in the 4th house at the bottom of your chart, you have the north node, the sun, Venus, Mercury, Mars. This is packed with energy. So it is calling for more of a lean into home. You could be with the south node in your 10th house. It could mean that something really is being released from career and reputation and what you do out in the world for work. But it could be that something is brewing at home that's calling you, changes at home. Maybe you are being called to be at home more. Maybe you're moving to a new home and you're going to work from home and not be going into the office anymore. The ways that this could show up in a practical, physical way are going to be different for everyone. But for all, the emphasis is home and inner world. What makes you feel safe and secure in your heart space? The 4th house is about home and family connections and is where we hide out as a safe space, the Cancer crab archetype. Taurus, in comparison, likes security, but it is more about the practical securities of accomplishing things in life or gaining food and shelter and all of those things, though the 4th house is shelter. But Taurus is more about the financial, the money that we need to get things done. Cancer is about the heart. What do you need in your heart and home to feel safe in this world, to feel secure? And I really think that it is about that heart security that can feed the financial security in our life. In general, if we just feel safe and secure in this world, a lot of other things have potential to flourish from an energetic place. And we're talking about Pisces. So we're talking about the energy of the internal world of your home. And I'm highlighting this for all signs, that Pisces is about the energy that brews before the material creation. It is our connection to all things. It is our connection to creating a beautiful, idealistic, unconditional love, energetic space with anything that we put into material form. So what is it about your home and inner world that's getting an energy rework? With Pisces, you could also be moving closer to the ocean. Pisces rules oceans. Mercury is also retrograde here. So there's something from the past. If there are changes related to your home, it is recommended that you don't sign any contracts during a Mercury retrograde. And that will be from February 26th until March 20th. But if you have to, it's not the end of the world. It just means that things might change when Mercury goes direct. Mercury is the ruler of your 10th house and your 7th house. This could be going back over partnerships of some kind. And again, with the career, visibility, work out in the world, leadership type of topics. Because the 10th house is activated, partnerships could be business partnerships with whatever's going on here, but it really could be anything. So even if there are not direct home-related changes for you, think about what negotiations you're redoing when it comes to partnerships and work-related topics. Mars is here in your 4th house, and it is the ruler of your 5th house of children, fun, creative projects. You could be staying home more to work on creative projects or look after children. And these are all topics that can be strung into what's going on. Jupiter, the great benefic, is sending beautiful energy to this nodal axis and amping up whatever is going on. And this is coming from your 8th house. This could have to do with other people's resources. There's something changing with home due to a change in resources, likely something really positive. With the 8th house, there's an expansive quality with Jupiter, and it looks like you're getting assistance from another source for whatever finances you need. This could be loans, mortgages, spousal support, spousal contributions if you are in one of those arrangements. So this really has to do with partnerships, a lot to do with finances for you, Sag. If you've been in negotiations with partners over finances of any kind, this looks like a really beneficial agreement. When things come back around during a Mercury retrograde, they can go through a nice final completion, especially when there's a total lunar eclipse involved. Whatever does complete right now is permanent. Even if it doesn't show up that way initially, that is what a total lunar eclipse will do. It is time to move on. It is time to drain whatever has been going on for too long, especially as it relates to career status, public image. Status is here too. So this could be some people going through separations and figuring out allocations of finances and home-related resources, and it will go really, really well. Jupiter in the 8th house is also about your psychological transformation. I like to speak about it mostly from this perspective because the financial stuff won't hit for everyone, but the psychological stuff will. So whatever has been going on at a physical level, this is about your psychological transformation. And with Jupiter here, you could feel like you've had your psyche and subconscious projected onto the wall in front of you to really see what is going on and what you want to release and let go of and feel lighter moving forward, or just an awareness of what is in your subconscious and how it's affecting your ability to receive and deeply connect with other people. The 8th house is where our deepest, most intimate bonds take place. This is where soulmate intimacy comes into play, and it is about really embracing the psychological components of bonding. It's not just merging by contract, which is what the 7th house of partnership is. It's what do you do with that energy when two people come together? How do you manage resources? How do you manage your psychology? How do you manage growing psychologically with another person? And what kind of intimacy does that bring or not? Jupiter is here to heal all of that and bring deeper intimacy, healthier bonding, an ability to merge with resources. And that means gaining support from other people when you have Jupiter in your 8th house. So this is really wonderful, Sag. It looks like big changes for you because you are one of the signs that is getting affected on the angles by this eclipse. So when it's on the 1st or 7th house or 4th and 10th, those are even more potent, especially if you have placements around 12 degrees, those angles or otherwise. Give or take 5 to 10 degrees, the closer it is to those 12-degree points where the eclipse is the stronger this is going to be. Overall, this is beautiful energy, Sag. There are likely surprises that you are going to like, financial or romantic. And another reason for that is Venus is in sextile with Uranus, which brings beautiful surprises. And it's a good energy to have after we've had a lot of Uranus squares, which can bring stressful surprises, change and positive breakdowns. But though this is a lunar eclipse and it can bring endings, I do see this energy starting to build as new beginnings for many people. And that's how this whole past 6 months has been. The new moons are actually more like endings and the full moons are more of where our beginnings and manifestations are happening. So Perhaps the most important layer of this eclipse for you, Sag, is that you're letting go of Virgo concerns with leadership and who you are in the world, maybe with career. So letting go of worry, over organizing, overly needing to control, or feeling like being of service is a way to gain more leadership in the world. Whatever it is, it's those Virgo qualities that are getting tweaked right now, and you're leaning into the Piscean trust in your inner world, in your home life, in the energy being able to work itself out. And when we lead out in the world from that trusting Piscean place, you can take the best attributes of Virgo, which is a great work ethic and being able to organize and compartmentalize and take on tasks and responsibility and take care of business. That is a wonderful leadership quality, but it is also can be done with this Piscean trust that is a bit more of the gentle approach to life. It will be different for everyone as far as those nuances of what we're tweaking with the Virgo Pisces axis, with how to let go and trust and versus how to take on too much and too many tasks and too much worrying. I hope that that fits in some way and that whatever is showing up during this eclipse brings all the best. Thank you so much for checking out this video. It is so much fun chatting with you in the comments. Thank you for making these videos come alive there and reaching out for Zoom calls. It's wonderful to meet you through video, but have a wonderful total lunar eclipse in your 10th house, Sag, and I will see you next time. Hi, Capricorn. This is a total lunar eclipse in your 9th house of Virgo. The south node here and the moon could mean that you're letting go of something 9th house related, which is your perspectives of the world, your philosophy, the way that you integrate and pursue higher education, knowledge, wisdom, a teaching role, maybe a teacher or becoming a teacher. With the south node here, leaving a teaching role or having a teacher that you've had a past karmic relationship with could be a potential. If it's about a belief system, it could just be that a new one is manifesting and reaching fruition, or you're letting go of something foreign that's been holding you back. The 9th house also rules foreign places, foreign people. It is visas and academic institutions, as well as publishing. On the other side of this lunar eclipse axis, we have Pisces in your 3rd house with the Sun, Mercury retrograde, Venus, Mars, and the North Node, the star of the show. This is pouring energy into your communication house, and you have been working on this for so long with Neptune for 14 years, with Saturn for 3 years, and now is the fated change that you've been waiting for, maybe. Something to do with media, the way that you speak, your neighbors, your neighborhood, siblings, close relatives, short distance travel, vehicles are covered here as well. But energetically, this is always about communication and how you use your mind. It is also hands, actually, and chickens. But if you work with your hands, Mercury and the 3rd house are where that is covered as well. But I like to focus on communication and our mental daily patterns because that's going to be applicable for everyone. How do you get your words across? How do you get a message from the Pisces archetype, meaning energy and maybe even channeled information? How do you funnel this into something meaningful with the moon in the 9th house? That's the purpose of the communication. That's the belief system that's creating something out of the knowledge we gather. The 3rd house is how we gather knowledge, how we learn, how we use our mind in a functional way, how we produce media, how we sell things, how we take in media and the type of media we take in, because that is what feeds our mind. That is what really is contributing a lot to how our mind functions these days. The types of media that we take in is going to imprint on our brain. So if we're watching long form documentaries and listening to audiobooks, that's going to have a different effect on the brain than quick flashy media types that can create more of a neurological spinning and quickening to the brain that can have effects on the full body. And then what about your communication? How does that express a certain energy and land for other people? Communication is one of the most important things in our lives, and it can have such an effect on all other parts of our chart. With the moon and south node in your 9th house in Virgo, you could be letting go of old ways of worrying or trying to organize or prepare or service. This could have to do with traveling. This could have to do with teaching and being worried about what you have to share out in the world. Virgo is an archetype that minimizes. It shrinks things. It doesn't expand like Jupiter does. But with Jupiter in your 7th house, sextiling this foreign wisdom part of your chart, it looks like some other important person in your life is helping shine a light on the wisdom that you have, the ability to integrate ideas and concepts and create belief systems. Jupiter can create an expanding quality where otherwise Virgo is a shrinking one. And that's what worrying does. I do believe I've seen somewhere that worrying actually does shrink our brains. Stress and chronic inflammation causes brain shrinkage, and Virgo can be known for that. And all of us are going to be letting go of Virgo-like qualities that are hindering us moving forward. That's what the South Node in Virgo is all about. Being overly analytical and critical of beliefs and ideas and philosophies. This could be an energy where you're allowing yourself to expand your mind into new spiritual beliefs of some kind. Or one that you put a lot of weight into is now falling away, and someone else has brought, with Jupiter in Cancer, a new theory around nurturing and comfort and family, and it could be shifting your mind axis, which is the 3rd and 9th house where this eclipse is, shifting how you think about things and how you operate in a day-to-day way with your brain, as well as the bigger picture of life that you hold. Venus in your 3rd house is in sextile with Uranus in your 5th house. This could bring surprise, fun, play, unexpected romance, unexpected funds, because Venus rules finances as well. In your 3rd house with Mercury retrograde, this could be getting good news about something from the past. Whatever it is, when Uranus is involved, it will be unexpected. It is connected to relationships. Venus is the ruler of your 5th house and your 10th house. So it could have to do with dating in the 5th house. It could have to do with your children. It could have to do with your creativity and ability to feel authentic and lead in the world with that, because Venus is also the ruler of your 10th house where Libra is. And that 10th house is about leadership in the world, the authority that you have within. So Capricorns out there, you could be feeling a stronger sense of inner authority with these positive aspects with Venus, and that's changing the way that you communicate, changing your perspectives, and somehow changing your relationships. Jupiter currently stationed and about to go direct at its most beneficial 15-degree point is a wonderful omen for great partnerships and supportive partnerships in your life that feel nurturing and Cancerian, that feel like family. And Venus as well, being at its most beneficial point there and in sextile with Uranus. So wonderful potentials, Capricorn, surprise communication, stuff that you're really going to enjoy, things that amplify your creativity, change your perspectives of the world, maybe have some effect on foreign places, foreign people, and foreign concepts that are helping build a new perspective and bird's eye view of the world. These are really wonderful placements to have this energy brewing, Capricorn. So I would love to hear how this is showing up for you. It's so much fun chatting with you in the comments. So thank you for participating and shout outs there. They're honestly so lovely. Thank you. And thanks for reaching out on Zoom calls. It's wonderful to meet you there. My website will be linked in the description below. Have a wonderful total eclipse, Capricorn, in your 9th house, and I will see you next time. Hi, Aquarius. This is an 8th house total lunar eclipse for you with the South Node. Something could be releasing from the ways that you received resources from partners, people you work with, or romantic partners when it comes to the 8th house. It is important, significant people that you merge resources and energy with. This can also be about psychological transformation. You could be going through big psychological purging and release. The eighth house can have sudden reversals of any kind in life. This is the Scorpionic house. And since we have just finished the year of the snake, there could be one final purge that you're going through. Jupiter is in beautiful angle with the nodal axis and all of these planets in your second and eighth house axis. That means that there's something with work, service, health, your daily routines. Jupiter is on fire right now at its 15th degree mark, where it's the most beneficial in all of the zodiac, as well as stationing direct, which brings even more beneficial exaggerated Jupiterian healing energy. This looks like you're shifting something in your day-to-day life and routine that's improving your resources, improving your bonding, improving your finances, improving the way that you share and hold energy with yourself and with another person. The stacked planets are all in your second house. That's Mars, the Sun, the North Node, Mercury retrograde, and Venus. Venus is also at its most beneficial degree of the entire zodiac, and that means that relationships and money could be going extra well for you. With this configuration, you could be getting a lot of work and you could just be really busy and gaining more self-value in your industry, gaining more abundance in general. But this flurry of activity has you really focused on your possessions, your resources. You want to lean into the energetic qualities of what it means to be abundant. That's what Pisces in the second house is all about. Where is your energy at? How much do you preserve your energy when it comes to interactions throughout the day? If you're holding your energy back too much or overgiving, then there can be an imbalance that can manifest in our physical assets, our physical manifestations of energy, which is money. So you're going over something from the past when Mercury is retrograde. Mercury is also the ruler of your eighth house and your fifth house. This could mean that there are topics from the past coming back around children, creative projects, how much you feel comfortable being you, how authentically you express yourself, and as it concerns another individual and merging with another individual. With the South Node and the Moon in the eighth house in Virgo, where there's more of a chance that you're releasing something, this could be reaching a new level of manifestation of something. But the letting go here is about worry and nervousness around shared resources or wanting to overly serve and overly give. You could give too much with Virgo in the eighth house and feel that if you're of service, then that somehow feeds your self-worth in the second house. But that's not necessarily what's being called when we're in merging connections with another person. It needs to be balanced and harmonized. You could just be letting go of worrying about finances, and that ends up giving you a big boost on this financial axis. But it does look work-related. It looks health-related. It looks like you're changing your routines and your habits and the work that you do. You could have wonderful employees come in or coworkers that are part of the boost of abundance and changing your resources in some way, but you're very financially motivated right now. Your self-worth is amped up with the North Node and all of these planets in your second house. This is also a house where we nourish our bodies. It's the food that we eat, the way that we eat. With Pisces here, there's a quality of connecting to the energy of a food, the energy of what you put into your body, and that also has a big effect on the energy that we have accessible to us on a day-to-day basis. Venus is also in sextile with Uranus, which I haven't been mentioning for all of the videos, but this is about relationships and money again with beautiful surprises, somehow coming from home, family, could be your family lineage somehow. There are good surprises on their way with Uranus's final degrees in Taurus. Thank goodness, because the weeks leading up to this eclipse well, the months really, there have been more Uranus squares and uncomfortable tension, uncomfortable changes, uncomfortable shifts for some people. And now we're getting into more of the pleasant surprises around this eclipse. Look for benefits from the past when it comes to your assets, your resources, and your self-worth. Jupiter is here to heal your day-to-day life, to bring you more joy and optimism in everything that you do, especially your work. So I love this, Aquarius. It looks like your work and your assets are doing really well. And I would love to hear how this is showing up for you. Let me know in the comments. It's really fun to hear what's actually going on in people's lives. So thank you for that. Thank you for just checking out this video and being here and joining for Zoom calls. It's really fun meeting you over Zoom. I will link my website for that in the description below. I hope this total eclipse brings lots of magic your way, Aquarius. It looks like it's going to. I'll see you next time. Pisces. This is all about partnerships for you. Who are the main people in your life? How do you operate in significant partnerships? A karmic partner could be entering your life or ending, or just a new level of partnership achieved, a new way of operating within partnerships. Because you have Virgo on the other side of Pisces, the polarity in your 7th house of partnerships, you might be just letting go of worrying, over-serving, over-giving, minimizing yourself in partnerships somehow. Some of the more challenging qualities of Virgo that if situations are calling to let go of some of these at this time, that's what's going to help you get to the next level in your relationships. It's seeing that you are of value, whether you are of service or not. It is seeing that you don't have to worry or overly analyze or take on too much detail and too much energy, which is what Virgo archetypes can do in a house. It's a wonderful quality to have. Pisces, you can tune into energy and see people in ways that others just can't. It's a wonderful skill, but it can drain you. And you have been going through that lesson in more challenging ways with Saturn in your sign for the last 3 years. Your Neptune, your ruler, for 14 years before that. Now that Saturn and Neptune have moved on to Aries in your 2nd house, you are really seeing where those energetic boundaries need to be for yourself within partnerships at this specific eclipse. Jupiter is in your 5th house, sending sextile and trine to this nodal axis of self and other. This is so much fun. You just couldn't have a better position for Jupiter to have it at its best degree where it's functioning in the most optimal ways, stationing direct, so it's supercharged and ramped up with momentum. And in your 5th house of fun, play, creativity, romance, children. When Jupiter traveled my 5th house, Saturn was along for the ride. So I didn't actually get to feel what Jupiter full on in the 5th house would be like. It actually probably wouldn't have been good for me because I needed Saturn there to hold the reins of how much fun was actually going on. But it was one of my favorite experiences of all transits to have Jupiter in the 5th house. So I hope that that's how you are feeling right now, that you're having more fun, you're enjoying more creativity, you're doing things just for the sake of it. No agenda. This is being a child again. And it can feel like you don't have a care in the world or any responsibilities in the world. With Cancer being the ruler of your 5th house, it is that you can go out in the world and play and have a safe place to land. You feel safe and secure in your creative expressions, and that's a beautiful energy to have, Pisces. Mercury retrograde in your sign is the ruler of your 4th house of home and family and partnerships. So there could be something coming back from the past that has to do with home as well. And you're reorganizing not only how you operate within partnerships, but something at the deep core of your being that, again, is a Cancer archetype. When we're talking about the 4th house, you have Gemini here, but you need to feel safe and secure, likely in your mind. You need to feel like your ideas are received well with people that you live with, people that you trust, people that you consider to be family. You also feel most secure maybe when you feel comfortable expressing your mind and expressing what really goes on at the core of your being with loved ones that you know are going to be there for you. So there's something coming up around the past with Mercury retrograde here in your sign, how you connect with your partnerships and how you connect with home and your inner world. This is going to go on until March 20th. And then after March 20th, we have much more direct motion. Jupiter is going to be on fire at that point too. So just be patient until then. And happy birthday, Pisces. You have Mercury retrograde during your birthday season, but what a wonderful eclipse to have for your birthday. For those of you born within a week on each end of the eclipse, really it's going to be all Pisces, but it's going to be extra potent for those who have a week before and a week after March 3rd. The early to middle degree Pisces. And because of the South Node in your 7th house of partnerships, if something is ending or fading away, it's probably going to go really well, and it's probably something you've been wanting with Jupiter. With Jupiter's influence here and all of this positive energy, wonderful romantic surprises and all of those things. So you're making room for something new. And for many of you, it could be something coming to fruition. It could be a soulmate from a past life with the South Node here as well. So Pisces, all in all, you're letting go of some Virgoan qualities and balancing out self and other in how you serve other people, how you trust in yourself and lean into that Pisces restful, intuitive energy, and maybe how you add more service, how you add more work and functionality to your relationships. Though with the South Node in that part of your chart, I think for many of you, it's going to be letting go of giving. Not that you're letting go of that completely, but you're balancing and harmonizing something to do with more energy for yourself, more motivation for whatever you want to get off the ground, the action that you're taking in the world with your ruler now in Aries. You're ready to jump forward and take on stuff that's really meaningful to you. And that's what Jupiter in the 5th house can do too. It is your authentic desires and drive and nature that matter at this moment, and your relationship is going to be stronger for it. Whatever is showing up in each of your lives, or however that's showing up in each of your lives. Happy birthday, Pisces. Have a wonderful total lunar eclipse in your 7th house of partnerships. Many blessings, regardless of what's showing up in the material world. This has positive energy all over it. And sometimes we don't always feel that in the moment. And sometimes each person's chart can be wildly different or affected in different ways. But regardless of the material way that things are showing up, this energy holds a lot of promise for healing and gifts. So have a wonderful time. Thanks for chatting with me in the comments. It really is so uplifting and inspiring. I enjoy the feeling like these videos have some real connection out there. So thank you for reaching out for Zoom calls, for subscribing. My booking link will be in the description below. Have an amazing eclipse season, Pisces, and I'll see you next time.